Hey friends, welcome back. And hello to you new people too. I'm Courtney, for those of you who don't know me. I've got Phyrra and Nyx, my two standard poodles, chilling in the room with me, so you may see them in the background of this video. Today I'm going to be bringing you a purple eyeshadow look. This is an ultraviolet look for Makeup Wars. Makeup Wars is a group of my friends who are bloggers. We all get together every other week to do posts together. And this week we're focusing on Pantone Ultraviolet, which is the color of the year for 2018. As you know, I really love purple, so I was very excited that Pantone chose Ultraviolet to be the color of the year. So far, I haven't really seen a ton of purple stuff released, but I was able to shop my stash to come up with this look. And don't worry if you don't like the super bold lip that you see on me here, which I love, but I get that it's not for everybody. I also included a nice neutral lip look for those of you who want something more understated and elegant. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. So to begin, I'm going to put on my favorite eyeshadow primer. This is the Colorescience SPF 35 eyeshadow primer color corrector all-in-one. It has a neutral peach tint. I've used this in many other videos and tutorials, and I have a whole video that talks all about the benefits of this product. It's basically a light beige color with a slight hint of peach to help correct dark circles under the eyes. I'm trying a new setting powder on top of my eyeshadow primer today. This is Darling Girl's InstaFix powder. And so if you have oily hooded lids like I do, you may want to use a powder to set your primer to help your eyeshadow last longer and not crease and whatever. So for color, I'm going to start out with ColourPop Daddy, which is this matte purple. And yeah, I'm going to end up basically putting this all over my lid in the smoky dome shape. If you're unfamiliar with that, basically it's where if my eyes are straight open, I bring the color up onto the hood of my eye so that you can see the color. I'm using the Sigma E21 smudge brush to put this purple along my lower lid. I'm going to layer the color Dye from the Kristen Leanne palette onto the lid, lower lid, and start to bring it up into the hood of the eye. I'm using a Sigma E25 brush to do this, and I'm going to leave the center of the lid as bare as I can manage. All right, now I'm going to try and use my finger with the ColourPop Frog eyeshadow. I'm gonna try this medium sweeper brush by Sigma with ColourPop Daddy. I'm gonna use Lilac from the Kylie Purple Palette. The halo eye part of this needs a little bit more oomph, so I'm gonna use OCC Astral on top of Frog. I think Astral just has more dimension and depth to it, and that's why it looks so much better. I hope that's coming across in the camera. I'm going to use Nyx White Smoke pencil on my lower waterline. I'm going to use my favorite black pencil on my upper waterline. This is the Wunder2 Super Stay Liner in Essential Black. I'm going to use my Smashbox mascara primer. I'm going to put on my Urban Decay mascara. So what I did was put on Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer, and then I mixed Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer with Huda Beauty's Faux Filter Foundation in the shade Milkshake for my foundation. I set that with Laura Geller's Balance and Brighten Powder just on my cheeks because this foundation doesn't really need to be set, but I need to set it on my cheeks so that it's not tacky so I can blend on top. I'm going to put on Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush in the shade Beige for Days. Just trying to make sure I don't take this color too low. Then I'm using the shade Angel from my Gwen Stefani blush palette. I will look up a similar color to Angel so that you can use it too. This is basically what I use as a highlighting blush. And I take it a little bit further in on my cheek. I'm going to use Wet n Wild's White Raven. And I'm just using the Real Techniques setting brush to put the highlighter on. So then I like to go back to my brush from Smashbox and super soft, but buff all over in like big circles. I use little circles to apply the highlighter and then big circles to sort of buff and try to blend everything together. If you don't like using a big brush like this, I absolutely recommend using a brush like this one. This is the Real Techniques fan brush. And then you just go kind of up and down to try to blend everything together. When my husband saw me doing this, he's like, it's butterfly kisses. Okay, now I've got my hair on. I've noticed that my foundation, or my face looks a little like dry and powdery, which I don't like. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my face with Pixie's Makeup Fixing Mist. This seems to like take down any powderiness and sort of make everything meld together. Oh, since I almost always use the same cheek highlight on the inner corner of my eyes under the brow, I'm gonna go ahead and use White Raven around my eyes to do that. I wanted to make sure I did that on camera so that you weren't like, what did you use to highlight around your eyes? I didn't see that. And this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. It's my favorite brush for highlighting around the eyes, because the pointy end is perfect for getting under the brows, and then the rounder end is great for the inner corner. And I did not put on lashes because a couple of you had said that you would like to see a look without lashes. Now I did want to put on a couple different lip looks for this makeup look since I know not everybody likes really bold lips. So I'm going to start with the lightest lip look first. So the first lip color I put on for this look is Urban Decay's Peyote lipstick on top of Urban Decay's Peyote lip pencil. This is what I would call a rose gold color, and it basically works for me as sort of like a rose gold nude. The pencil looks very much like a My Lips But Better type shade. I think it looks really nice. I think Peyote does a really nice job of letting the purple take center stage in this look. For lip look 2, I used Kat Von D's Coven pencil with Urban Decay's Twitch lipstick. This gives you a nice purple that I think is not too bright or too deep to work with the eye look. And incidentally, I like this color with my hair quite a bit. So for this lip look, I used OCC's Sebastian lip pencil to outline my lips. Then I filled in with Wet n Wild Lavender Crown, which is like a gray color with a purple undertone. I love this color. And then for a little bit more dimension, I added this Wet n Wild lip color in Gunmetal Heart just to the center of my lips. The way I applied this is by using my finger to tap it on at the center of the lips and then lightly blotted. So I saved the best for last. This is my favorite lip look. I put on Kat Von D's Scully pencil, then I put my all-time favorite black lipstick, Urban Decay's Perversion lipstick, on top of that. I blotted. Then I added, excuse me, my voice is going out. Then I added Urban Decay's White Lie lip topper towards the center of my lips. And I finished by putting Kat Von D's Starflyer all over my lips. So that's why it's this beautiful blue-purple color. I love it. Now, if you're curious as to what this lip look looks like with just the plain black, I'm gonna put a link up here so you can check out my blog post. Just in case you don't know, but for every video that I do, I always have a companion blog post so you can see pictures of the full look that I'm wearing, as well as the full product list. All right, so that completes this ultraviolet makeup tutorial. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please give it a thumbs up and share. I love it when you share my videos and it really helps me out, so thank you very much. And if you haven't already, click on that little subscribe button down below and I'll see you in my next video.